trumpet stands the drums, here he comes. Hopalong Cassidy, here he
You are witnessing one of the worst outbreaks of lawlessness in the West. The killer struck with mysterious, deadly precision. No one's life was safe. Stages couldn't get through, freight wagons were robbed, even a lone traveler was set upon. This is Canyon City, which bore the brunt of the killer epidemic. That young fellow driving the buckboard is Sheriff Ray Barnett. The man he brought in is a suspected thief. That is, the sheriff thought he'd caught one of the band of men who were terrorizing his community.
Hey, David! David!
What's happened, Ray?
You recognize him?
Yes, he's lining glass.
I have an idea he's one of the gang we've been after. I'm going to make him talk. Get your stuff and come over to the office.
Oh, I don't know about treating him, Ray. I'm only an apothecary, you know.
Well, look, I don't have time to drive 25 miles for a doctor. Besides, you've done pretty good digging lead out of people in the past. Hello, Shad.
Hi. Lining glass, eh? Think he's one of them, Sheriff?
I sure do. Give me a hand, will you? Easy. We got to keep him alive.
Looks like he's in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, my brother's on his way over here now.
I sure hope the doc can save him. You've got to get your hand on one of them. I can tell you a few things. How about it, Doc?
I can't tell yet.
Can he talk?
Better let him rest a while.
All right. Still say you ought to have a doctor's diploma, Dave.
How'd you get a line on glass?
Jeb Harris was robbed 2 weeks ago, remember?
Hell, shot up pretty bad, too.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to see anybody's face because of the masks. But he described a certain fancy vest one of them was wearing. There's your vest. Glass was wearing it when I met him on the road this morning.
By golly, Ray, maybe you can make it stick this time.
I'm worried, Shad. We need help. It's going to take a lot of doing to prosecute this case, even if we get something to go on.
Yeah, I know. Do you have any ideas?
You bet I have. I know just who we need.
Yeah? Who?
Hopalong Cassidy.
The sheriff's letter stressed the urgency of their situation. My pal Red and I left immediately for Canyon City. We'd been on the road for 2 days and were getting close to our destination. I'd known Ray's father, one of the finest peace officers in the West, and I couldn't turn down his son's plea for help on his first case. Been ridden in the last hour or so. I wonder what...
I don't see any tracks of anyone dismounting. He must have come this far by himself.
Wait a minute, here's some marks. Twice in the back. He hadn't even pulled his gun.
Look at that bandage on his chest. This feller must have 9 lives.
Had 9 lives, you mean? Get his horse, Red. We continued on toward Canyon City. 4 miles from our destination, we met the sheriff and his posse. After the introductions, I explained how we found the dead man. I learned somebody had smuggled a gun into him, and he'd made a jailbreak, leaving the sheriff locked in his own cell, tied and gagged. He'd be there still if his brother hadn't dropped in and released him. The sheriff hadn't gotten a thing out of the criminal, but apparently other members of the gang didn't think Lanny could keep his mouth shut. Well, how'd you like registering yourself and picking out your own room?
Yeah, things must be getting pretty bad when the hotel help has to leave town.
It looks like everybody's left. That outlaw gang certainly did a good job of scaring people off.
You can't blame them. I guess they wanted to live.
Look at that sign.
Closed.
The killers can have anything in my store. I'm getting out with my wife and kids. J.J. Hornsby. I guess he expresses everybody's feelings.
Yeah, like you said, there must be a big brain back of that gang. You know about the only thing open is the apothecary and the saloon and the livery stable.
Yeah, and Chad Young's running that livery stable at a loss. He has to stay open to hold his franchise for the stage line. Let's go over and see the sheriff.
I'll admit, Mr. Cassidy, it was foolish of me to try to take on the job of cleaning up this town with no previous experience. My brother warned me. But now my reputation's at stake. I didn't dare appeal to the state authorities anymore. That's why I wrote you.
Well, didn't they send you any help?
One marshal didn't even get here. The other was killed 24 hours after he got in town. Now, the thing is, the outlaws know when the stage is carrying money or valuable mail.
Well, maybe they've got some kind of a tip-off system.
It's got me stymied. Because when there's nothing of value on the stage or the freighter, they're left alone. But the outlaws even know when a passenger's carrying money. Here, I want you to read this.
This is to inform you and your brother to leave town or suffer the consequences. Do not bring any more lawmen into town.
I'd hoped you could work undercover, but now that you've brought the body in, I guess it's too late.
What more can you tell me about this man, Glass?
He works for Sam Wade. He owns a saloon.
We better go over and have a talk with Mr. Wade, huh? See you later.
Sure you won't have a drink, gentlemen?
No, thanks. Earl, come here.
Shake hands with Mr. Cassidy.
Glad to know you, Cassidy.
And Mr. Connors.
Hi.
Hi. This is Earl Fox, gentlemen. They've been asking questions about Lanny Glass, Earl.
I'll be glad to tell them anything I can, Mr. Wade. What do you want to know?
Who shot Lanny Glass in the back?
What are you asking me for?
I just thought you might be interested in finding out who killed a friend of yours.
Look here, Cassidy. We mind our own business. Why don't you do the same?
It is our business when killings happen around here as often as they do.
Who asked you, wise guy?
Get up, Earl. He gets excited easy, Mr. Cassidy.
So I noticed. Thanks for the hospitality.
What do you think, Sam?
But you're a fool, Earl.
I ain't carrying no strong box. I want to talk to your passengers. Outside, everybody. All right, which one's got the money? Looks like that kind of narrows it down to you, mister.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Get inside.
Wait a minute, I forgot something. Let's get out of here.
We went back and picked up the fellow that was killed, Mr. Cassidy. But as far as recognizing those killers, I can't do it. Them and their horses was all covered over.
They're not taking any more chances on their clothing being recognized.
What about their voices?
A couple of them talked, but they didn't sound familiar.
Well, I'll go tell Mrs. Post about her husband.
Chad,
Yes, sir.
where did this stage stop last?
Crystal Creek Relay Station. Why?
I'll have to tell you later. Red, I'm going to ride out of town for a while. Keep your eyes on that saloon, will you?
Oh, can't I go with you, Hoppy? Mr. Young can watch the saloon.
He's got enough to do. I thought I'd seen this fellow around town. His wound wasn't serious. The fall had knocked him unconscious.
Later. Get him inside, quick. Look at that, Sam. 3777. You know what that means?
Yeah. How'd it get there?
Well, pick him up.
The yellow rats.
What's going on? You can't blame him, Sam.
Horse sports played him and he fell off right here.
3777.
Wonder who could have written him?
See, I bet he's hurt, David.
Oh, not too bad. Nicked in the shoulder. But those numbers, Ray, what do you think?
Bring him to the office. Second alive when we've gotten our hands on.
And we've got to keep him that way, too.
Well, I'll try, but he's a marked man. Easy now.
Yep.
Nothing happened, eh, Tim? Why should it? I wasn't carrying nothing, neither were my passengers. Them hold-up men noted, all right.
You want me to go get him?
No.
Doggone it, Hoppy, you're sure acting mysterious.
About what?
Well, what's going on? What's everybody so scared of this number, 3777, for?
Red, how long did you go to school?
School? Well, 7 or 8 years. Why?
Which grade?
Which grade? Well, I'll have you know I was...
Sam, when are you going to find out who's behind this 3777 business?
In a day or two.
That's what you said 3 days ago. What does the boss say?
Just what I've always said, that you're a fool.
Well, I'm not foolish enough to hang around this town until they put a noose around my neck. I'm getting out of here.
Maybe you better go out to the shack till you get over your jitters.
That's a good idea.
No penny ante 377 committee is going to scare me out of town.
I'm not as brave as you, Sam. Anybody else coming along?
Backwards is 7773.
I don't care how many times you deny it, Ray. You can't tell me that you don't know anything about 3777.
I told you, David, I won't take chances with our lives.
Well, it's dangerous when a secret organization attempts to take the law in its own hands.
I don't think there's anything to be alarmed about. So long as the sheriff had nothing to do with it, why worry? Let's take another look at Slater.
Wake up. Wake up. Come on, wake up. You'll have to talk sooner or later.
He's through talking. He's dead.
What did you say? Dead? From a minor infection? Oh, Ray, you've got to get a real doctor in this town. It isn't fair to me or anyone else.
Dave, get a hold of yourself. It's not your fault. You've done the best you could.
So you couldn't stay at the hideout shack, huh?
You wouldn't either. Somebody painted 3777 on the front door.
You scare easy, Earl. What you need's a drink.
I told you before, Sam, I'm not as brave as you. What you need is a drink.
Later, with Young's help, I set a trap. He was to let it be known that his stage was to carry a Wells Fargo shipment of $30,000 that he had to get through as one last desperate effort to keep his franchise.
Hi, Rip. 3 March 7th of March 77. Say, that could mean March 7th, 1877. What happened on that date?
Didn't you study your history?
Oh, Hoppy. Hey, look, if you won't tell me about them numbers, what do them pieces of cloth tied on the stagecoach mean?
The white cloth means the passenger's carrying a lot of money. The checkered cloth means the stage is carrying a strong box or it's a wagon with a valuable shipment.
What about the black cloth?
Nothing of value. Let it go through.
Just as I figured. Now, about these numbers.
Don't tell me it's finally got you.
This is no time for your smart talk, Earl.
Where's the boss?
He's going to meet us. Where are the ponchos and blankets?
Inside.
Well, let's get going. There's $30,000 waiting for us. And don't stop to worry about those numbers.
I don't know, Sam. 7 always was my unlucky number. I'm pulling out right after I get my share on this job.
the hill.
Well, there's the leader of the gang. Ray, you're not going to like what you see. I'm sorry, Ray. I've been suspicious of him for a long time. I think he'll confess that he smuggled a gun to your first prisoner and added to the infection of the second one.
Let's get back to town. First, it never dawned on me you were behind the 3777 idea.
Shucks, I knew all the time when Hoppy sent that fella back to town with numbers written on his slicker.
What was that?
Well, I was pretty sure.
You know, I kind of enjoyed being a one-man vigilante committee.
When I write the governor, I'll tell him all you've done for us.
Ray, I'd just as soon you keep it a secret from the governor and everybody else. Let him think it was your idea. It might help you politically.
Well, thank you.
I'm not going to move an inch till somebody tells me why those outlaws were afraid of the numbers.
All right. When the vigilantes were first organized in San Francisco, all the members used numbers in place of their names. 3 men, number 3, number 7, and 77, took care of the bad men. That's why all killers learned to dread those numbers. They thought it meant a grave 3 feet wide, 7 feet long, and 77 inches deep. Does that explain it?
What do you know about that? Is that all that scared them?
So long, Ray.
So long.
So long, Chad.
Bye, Hoppy.
Oh, Hoppy.
Come on, let's go. Oh, what a character. Hi there. Friends, this is the first time in the 5 years since you've been kind enough to invite me into your homes on television that I've taken the liberty of speaking to you personally. I would just like to assure you that any product you see Hoppy's name on, in my mind, is the finest. Now, here's a little message from my little friends. Always mind your daddy and your mommy. Please remember, they're the best friends you have in the world. Till next week, take good care of yourselves.
There goes on his way down the moonlit trail to where cowboys raid. Hopalong Cassidy, Hopalong Cassidy, he'll return soon again. There's no use to say goodbye until then. Hopalong Cassidy, so long, Hop. Here he comes, here he comes. There's the trumpets, there's the drums, here he comes. Hopalong Cassidy, here he comes.
It was one of those hot, windless days when you feel like you're being smothered in wool flannel and even the air seems stale and kind of secondhand. We were determined to find a new and shorter route to drive our cattle to the railhead. Red and I had been riding since sunup. We were hot and tired, so we decided to rest for a few minutes.
If I get any hotter, I'll blow up.
I'm glad we come through here, though. After it cools off, we can drive our cattle through this cutoff just like we figured.
If we drive them cattle through here in this heat, by the time we get to railhead, there will be nothing but skin and bones. Folks will have to pay
Wait
us
a minute.
Huh?
Listen.
Well, I don't hear anything, unless it's the sweat dripping off of these trees. You must be getting kind of... Shots!
All right, get out of there. Come on, get out or we'll blast you. Hurry it up.
I've got exactly $36.22 and no jewelry.
You Matilda Heron?
Yes, but I don't see how that concerns you.
Our boss wants to talk to you.
You must be mistaken. I don't know you or your boss. You keep away from me or I'll hit you again.
Okay, lady, we'll do it the hard way.
What? Oh! You ruffian, you! Oh!
You all right, ma'am?
Yes, but they shot the driver.
Take a look at him, Red.
I don't know who you are, but I was never so glad to see anyone in my life.
My name is Cassidy. This is Red Connors. And may I suggest the next time you're in a stage holdup that you just hand your money over to them without putting up a fight. You might have been killed.
But they didn't want money. They were trying to make me go with them.
What?
Well, I don't understand it either. I haven't been in this part of the country for years. Yet those hoodlums knew my name and said their boss wanted to see me.
Their boss?
This driver's unconscious, but he's still breathing.
We'll get him right into the doctor at Medicine Rock. You drive the stage in. All right, young lady.
Oh, my parasol.
Now, here's the rest of it. In you go. On the way, I learned her name was Matilda Heron. She was a spinster who lived in Kansas City. She'd never been west until 2 weeks ago when she set out to visit her sick brother, a teacher. She couldn't imagine why anyone would want to kidnap her. Neither could she give much description of the outlaws beyond the fact that they were masked and carried guns. There wasn't much to go on, and what there was didn't make sense. Samuel Heron's home was on the edge of town. It wasn't much of a place, but then school teachers usually aren't rich. You're all right there, Red. There you go. Red, you take the driver on over to the doctor, then report to the sheriff. Sure. I'll meet you at his office after I talk with Mr. Heron. There you go.
Come on, Mark.
Well, Matilda!
Oh, Samuel.
What a wonderful surprise.
I came as soon as I could. This is Mr. Cassidy.
How are you, Mr. Heron?
How do you do?
Mr. Cassidy saved me from bandits.
Bandits?
Samuel, yes, 2 men held up the stage. What are you doing out of bed? You march right back into the house. Well, you're much too ill to be standing here gabbing.
Ill?
Get right back into the house. I never knew a man yet who knew how to take care of himself.
But, Mattie, I'm
In you
all
go.
right.
Now, you go right in there and sit down, Samuel. I'm here to take care of you. Now, Mr. Cassidy, sit down, please. I'm going to make you a cup of tea, and as soon as I talk to the
but
doctor
Matilda,
and get you taken care of...
Matilda, I never felt better in all my life.
Well, then why did you send me this telegram?
What telegram?
This one here, saying you were about to die and asking me to come at once.
Why, I didn't send this.
You didn't?
No, there must be some mistake.
Maybe it wasn't a mistake.
What do you mean?
The two men that held that stage up knew your sister was in there and tried to kidnap her.
Kidnap?
That's right.
Oh, my goodness.
What's the matter?
It's Breck,
Breck?
the man who murdered Sheriff Winters.
Why should he send me a telegram?
Because I was present at the slaying. It's my testimony that will hang him.
Well, I still don't understand.
Well, Breck tried to bribe me, and then tried to frighten me into changing my story.
And when that didn't work, they sent a telegram to your sister to get her out here so they could kidnap her and force you into changing your testimony.
That must be it.
Isn't this murder in jail?
Of course.
But he could have had someone send a telegram and hold up the stage. Do you have a gun, Mr. Hearn?
I think there's an old rifle around here somewhere. Why?
Well, if what I think is true, your sister might still be in danger.
Good heavens. Do you think those ruffians might come here?
They're very apt to.
Well, it seems to me I saw that rifle back here.
Reserve us!
I've been meaning to get this fixed. It rolls up every time someone walks by. There.
Forgive me, Mr. Cassidy. I didn't mean to throw myself at you like that.
It's my pleasure, Miss Matilda.
Thank you.
Now, be sure and use that thing if you have to. In the meantime, I'll go over and have a talk with the sheriff. I'll see you later.
Here's Cassidy now.
All right.
All right.
How long have you been around here?
Ever since Winters was killed.
How long ago was that? Constable Tom Gorham seemed nervous and unsure of himself in his new job. He was pretty upset when I told him Heron's theory that Breck was responsible for the attempted kidnapping.
He couldn't have had anything to do with it. He's been right here in jail ever since the killing. And you say Miss Heron can't even identify the holdup men?
No, she can't. But I'd still like to talk to Breck if you don't mind.
Well, I don't mind. I just don't see what good it would do. There he is. Help yourself.
Red, you better go out and keep an eye on Sam and Matilda, huh?
Sure.
The plan was beginning to shape up in my mind, and talking to Breck was part of it. He was a hard-bitten thug with the disposition of a rattlesnake. But he didn't impress me as being any too smart. In fact, I began to wonder how he'd figured out the plan to silence Sam by kidnapping his sister. Naturally, he denied sending any telegram or the attempt to snatch Matilda. He even had a few words of advice for me.
I don't know why you're butting in, Cassidy, but if you're smart, you'll mind your own business.
Seeing a killer brought to justice is everybody's business.
I ain't no killer. I was framed.
Oh, sure. Respectable school teachers always go around framing people like you.
Get this guy out of here. There's no law says I gotta talk to him.
I told you it wouldn't do you any good, Cassidy.
I'm afraid you're right. I'll see you in court, Breck. I think the sooner we get Miss Heron back to Kansas City, the better. She'll never be safe around here.
I think so, too, but next stage doesn't leave until day after tomorrow.
Oh, but too many things can happen between now and then. If she drives over to Weston this afternoon, she can get the stage from there.
Good idea. One of my boys could drive her over.
Oh, that won't be necessary. She knows this country better than we do. I'll go over and get her started right away.
You heard that, didn't you?
I'm not deaf.
Come in here, you two.
What's up, boys?
I'm going to give you two a chance to make up for that job you botched this morning. Cassidy was just here, and Miss Heron is...
I told the Herons and Red what had happened in town. Matilda couldn't understand why Tom Gorham couldn't offer some protection. Sam explained that Gorham was new on the job. I think the only way to protect Miss Matilda is to jail Breck's henchman. And the way to do that is to give him another chance to kidnap her.
Trap.
That's right.
Are you suggesting that Mattie be used as bait for these criminals?
No, not Matilda.
Someone disguised as her.
Hey, that's a great idea.
I'm glad you like it.
Sure. Miss Matilda will be safe enough. Why, we get some clothes. Hey, wait a minute.
What's the matter?
If you think I'm going to dress up in woman's clothes, you're crazy.
I thought you liked the idea.
Well, I did to begin with. You're not going to fast talk me into wearing woman's clothes. I won't do it. I won't do it. Oh, Hoppy, if the boys ever see me in this rig, I'll have to shoot myself.
Stop squirming, Mr. Connors. I'm trying to sew.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but it's awful tight.
You'll get used to it.
I ain't going to wear it long enough to get used to it.
There. I'm afraid I've made the skirt too long. Let's see you walk around.
I can't even breathe. What makes you think I can walk?
Well, try it anyway.
Oh, my. Did you break anything, honey?
Oh, I'm all right. I don't know about this outfit.
Oh, well, it's held together all right, but for goodness sake, be more careful in the future. Take smaller steps and don't swing your arms so much.
Look, lady, I agree to wear this rig, but I'll be doggone if I'm going to learn manners to go with it.
Well, the buckboard's ready, so we might as well get started. Oh, my goodness.
Now, one more word out of you and the deal's all off.
Red, you better get started. And remember, I'll be there for the kidnapping.
Yes, and remember to hold your skirts up so that you don't trip on them again. Now, good luck.
Oh, anything you say.
Not that high.
What's the matter with you?
My arm.
What's the matter with it?
Normally, I would escort my sister to her carriage. Just slip your hand through my arm.
Oh, of course, brother dear. Let us be off. Oh, my purse.
There she is.
Be careful, sis. Be careful. Don't trip.
You're clumsy. Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Up we go. Up. There. Now, the guy.
Still having trouble with these skirts.
Goodbye, sis. Be careful. Bye-bye. Don't forget to write, sis. Bye-bye.
What a break. She's making the trip by herself.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Well, he's on his way.
Ah, that's good. Now, Matilda, I want you to please keep out of sight until I get back. Will you see that she does that, Sam?
Okay, she's gone far enough.
lady. You're coming with us, and this time, no funny business.
Get your hands up, both of you. All right, drop your guns in the wagon.
Cassidy.
Nasty surprise, eh, boys?
Why, you dirty, dirty?
Watch the language. I'll forget I'm a lady.
Nice going, Matilda. All right, you two, turn around and head back to town. I got a few questions I want to ask you. Come on.
Come on.
Who is it?
Tom Gorham.
Oh, hello, Tom.
Sorry, Sam.
What? Oh, excuse the rifle, but I didn't want to take any chances. Come on in. Come on out, Matty. It's only the constable.
Your sister? I thought she left for Weston.
Oh, that was just a trick. Matty, I'd like you to meet Constable Gorham.
How do you do?
I know you, ma'am. What trick?
Well, Mr. Cassidy figured that Breck's thugs would try to keep Matty from reaching Weston. So we sent Mr. Connors Matty's place, dressed in her clothes.
And Mr. Cassidy followed them at a distance, so if those ruffians try anything, they'll be sorry.
Smart plan, wasn't it?
Yeah, very smart. When'd they leave?
An hour ago. Tom, I don't know what we'd have done without Mr. Cassidy.
And don't forget Mr. Connors. Oh, he made a great sacrifice.
My goodness, you should have seen him. He was the strangest looking female you ever saw.
Listen. They're back.
They've got them.
Oh, I knew they would.
Stay where you are.
What?
You two don't do exactly as I say, I'll kill you.
Samuel!
Are you out of your mind?
If it hadn't been for your friend Cassidy trying to be so smart, this wouldn't have happened. Now get over there.
You're in league with Breck.
That's right. You try to warn Cassidy, I'll shoot.
Hey, Red, pull up. It looks like the constable's horse. No use going on into town. Get off your horses. Trouble, Matilda?
If you want to stay alive, don't try any tricks.
Come in.
Well, Sam, they fell for the bait, hook, line, and sinker. We won't have any more trouble with Breck now.
Raise your hands.
Gorham, what's the meaning of this?
Shut up and reach.
He's in with Breck. He had a gun in on us.
I'll do the talking. Drop your guns.
So you've been in with Breck all along, huh?
That's right. Too bad you didn't find it out sooner. I hired Breck to kill Winters. Unfortunately, Sam was a witness, so I had to put Breck in jail to keep the folks from getting suspicious. But now Sam will change his story, and I'll run this town exactly the way I want.
How about me and Hoppy?
We're taking you in the Badlands where you'll disappear.
Just how do you figure on doing that?
Take him.
Look, Hoppy, I got this one.
Yeah, you sure did. How are you, Matilda?
I'm just fine. You know, that's the first fight I was ever in, and I really enjoyed it.
You wouldn't have enjoyed it if Mr. Cassidy hadn't made Gorham make the first move.
Did you know that blind was going up?
I didn't think Sam had time to fix it yet. Let's get him tied up and get him out of here. You have got a rope, Sam? Come on, get on your feet.
Yeah.
think your troubles are all over now. Good luck to you.
We'll never be able to thank you and Red for all you've done for us.
Oh, shucks, that weren't nothing.
Oh, don't say that. Both of you were wonderful. And Mr. Cassidy. I know I'm an old fool, but I wonder if you'd mind terribly if I kissed you.
Why, certainly not, Miss Matilda.
There now, I feel a lot better.
The pleasure was all mine, Miss Matilda.
Goodbye, Red.
Goodbye, Sam.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Matilda. Good luck to you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Hi there. You know there are certain laws that are made to protect all of us, but we must do something to help about that protection. Oh, here's a thought that might help prevent an accident. Help other people protect you. Now, to make it a little easier for you to remember those words, the first letter of each of those words spell the name of a man who thinks you're pretty wonderful and who doesn't want you to be hurt. So till next week, so long. In the meantime, be careful, won't you?
There he goes on his way down the moonlit trail to where cowboys race. Hopalong Cassidy, Hopalong Cassidy, he'll return soon again. There's no use to say goodbye until then. Hopalong Cassidy, so long hop. Here he comes, here he comes. There's the trumpets, there's the drums, here he comes. Hopalong Cassidy, here he
For some time, everything had been peaceful and quiet in the prosperous cattle-raising community of Twin Rivers, until late one afternoon.
Come around, Hoppy. Come around, the stagecoach just come in.
What's so unusual about that? It's about due, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's a cavalry officer driving, and I think the regular driver has been shot.
Hello, Hoppy.
Hello, Morse. What happened to you?
We were held up. They killed the driver and Gene Melton shot him through the heart.
Gene Melton. This hit me like a punch in the jaw. For ever since Melton, one of the wealthiest cattle brokers in the neighborhood, had come to the Twin Rivers district 4 years ago, he had been one of my best friends.
Marshal Cassidy, I want you to meet Lieutenant Rex Melton, Gene's nephew.
At your service, sir.
How are you, Lieutenant? I've often heard your uncle speak of you. Just a few weeks ago, he told me you were coming out to spend your leave with him.
Yeah, that's right. He and I were the only ones left in our family.
You can imagine what this has done to me, Hoppy. Gene was more like a big brother to me than just my legal client.
That goes for about all of us.
How and where did this holdup occur?
We were on our way back from Las Cruces after meeting the lieutenant's train. 3 masked men held us up at 2 Mile Pass. They shot the driver, ordered us out, and took our valuables. Gene reached back in the stage for his gun. He got in 2 good shots before they dropped him.
And I'm positive Uncle Gene hit one of them. The man stumbled and almost fell just as he reached the cover of the trees.
Well, he must have left a trail. Hey, you better go over and see the doctor. You got blood on your uniform.
Oh, I wasn't hit. Must have been from my uncle.
I see. Morris, will you have the coroner take care of the bodies? Red and I'll go out and see if we can pick up a trail.
Well, let us know if you need us. Mr. Morris and I will be out at my uncle's place.
Thanks very much. I'll call on you.
A couple of you fellows give us a hand here?
mile pass, we picked up a trail that led into a nearby wash.
They hit. Certainly is. Must have cracked his head on that rock when he fell. He's still breathing. Let's load him on your horse and get him into town.
It was dark by the time we got the wounded bandit to town. The doctor had been working on him for hours.
Between the dent in his skull and 2 slugs in his back, it's a miracle he's alive.
He must have the constitution of an ox. You mean you think he'll pull through, Doc?
Within a week, he'll be strong enough for Hoppy to take him to the county seat to stand trial.
It would have been better for the bandit if he had died before we got to him. It meant the gallows for him. Thanks for coming over, Doc.
All right.
I'll give you a hand here.
What happened? Where am I?
You're in the Twin Rivers jail on a charge of double murder.
Murder? You're joking.
Them bars there look like a joke. What's your name, fella?
My name? I don't know.
Come on, cut out the stalling.
Red, wait a minute.
Him, too.
We've got you dead to rights, fella. You might as well make a clean breast of it. Who are you and who are your pals?
Pals?
There's no use holding out on us.
My name is... I can't remember what it is. I can't remember anything.
Let me have a try at him, Hoppy. Now, young man, who are you? What's your name and where are you from?
I told you I don't know.
Looks to me like a case of amnesia.
Is it catching? When I was a kid, I was always catching the measles and the mumps and the whooping cough.
Nothing for you to worry about. Not with that dome of yours.
Can't somebody tell me who I am? There must have been some sort of identification.
There isn't a thing.
Will he always be like this, Doc?
Well, that's hard to say. Sometimes the victim never regains their memory. Other times, a shock or something familiar from the past will bring it back. I'll drop in on your prisoner tomorrow, Hoppy. Good night.
Good night, Doc. Red, I'll go out to Melton Place the first thing in the morning and bring in Morse and the lieutenant to identify him. Better lock him up. I left Red in the jail to guard our prisoner, and early the next morning I rode out to the Melton Place.
Well, hello, Marshal.
Morning, Lieutenant.
Mr. Morris and I are just getting ready to ride into town to have this clean.
I see.
What brings you out here so early, Hoppy?
Well, we found one of the bandits. He had some of your uncle's possessions on him. I'm holding those as evidence.
Evidence? And he's still alive?
Yeah, and the doc seems to think he'll pull through. Of course, he hasn't the least idea who he is or what's happened. Apparently amnesia from a blow on the head.
He might be faking it.
No, I don't think so. Would you two mind stopping by the jail to identify him?
Oh, certainly not. Let's go.
That the man?
I'm almost positive that's a man Uncle Gene hit. He's the same size. Same eyes, same color hair. If I could hear his voice, I think...
Come here. When did you see these two men last?
I've never seen either one of them before. Yeah, that's the voice.
It certainly is.
Oh, I guess that does it. Well, thanks for coming in, gentlemen.
Oh, we should be thanking you, Marshal.
Oh, by the way, Lieutenant, since we're in town, we might as well stop by at my office and check your uncle's will. I suppose you know that Gene left everything to his nephew, eh?
Yeah, he told me as much.
Well, I'd give every penny of it to have my uncle alive. Now, I'd expected to be happy here, but now I can't wait to get away.
I can understand that.
Fortunately, you won't have to be here long. Most of the estate is in cash, and I'm sure I can find a buyer for the ranch within a week.
Well, the sooner the better. I'll see you later, Marshal. Goodbye.
So long.
Goodbye, Hoppy.
Goodbye. Red, keep an eye on our prisoner. I'm going out and see if I can pick up a trail of those other two bandits. It had just turned dark when I returned to Twin Rivers after a search that revealed no clue. The shots sounded like they came from the jail.
Red, where are you? In here, Hoppy.
Did you hear those shots?
Did I hear it? I was just handing a kid a cup of soup and wham, right out of my hand. I got in one shot, but I couldn't see who it was.
I'll go outside and take a look.
I'll get you some more soup. Maybe I better use a tin cup this time.
There were fresh boot prints in the dirt under the window. Whoever it had been, someone must have pulled himself up to the window and taken the pot shots at my prisoner.
What happened? We were in my office and we heard some shots.
Someone took a shot at my prisoner through that side window.
Oh. You think it might have been some lynch-minded townsman? Gene Melton was mighty popular around here.
Yeah, or it could have been one of the partners of your prisoner, trying to make sure he wouldn't do any talking.
That's just the way I got it figured, Lieutenant. Red, you better get the iron shutter for that window. We'll make sure nothing like that happens again. For a week, I kept trying to pick up some trail of our prisoner's partners, but I had failed to find the faintest lead.
Oh, Marshal! I was just coming over to see you. Will you need me for anything more?
No, with your sworn deposition and the evidence I have, he'll get a quick conviction. And probably the death penalty.
Good. Well, since the estate's all settled, we can ride out to the ranch house, pick up our things, and then head for the railroad. Oh, Mr. Morris is traveling as far as Cheyenne with me.
Some legal business.
I see.
Well, thanks for everything, Mr. Cassidy.
So long, Lieutenant. Good luck.
So long, Hoppy.
Hi, Doc. How's the patient?
I just took the bandages off. Most amazing recovery I've ever seen. He's ready to travel right now.
You know, for once, Doc, I kind of dislike my job.
What's the matter, Hoppy? Going soft?
Maybe I am. I just hate to see a man hang for a crime he doesn't even remember.
Yeah. Well, if I can be of any help, just let me know. So long. Good luck.
Thanks, Doc.
feel sorry for you, kid. After what the doc said, I guess we'll be heading for the county seat come tomorrow.
I'm not afraid to die, Red, but it's tough to hang for a crime you can't even remember committing.
You can't buck the evidence against you, kid.
No, I guess I'll have to take my medicine. I still can't convince myself I was ever a cold-blooded killer.
Since the time we had found our prisoner, I'd been concentrating so hard on getting to the bottom of these killings that I hadn't taken a good look at him until now. There was something familiar about that face. Then I remembered Gene Melton showing me a picture in his watch. The same watch we had found on our prisoner. Red, come here a minute.
What's the matter, Hoppy?
Take a look at this picture in Melton's watch. Who's that look like?
Well, I'll be hung for a sheep herder. It sure looks like that kid in there.
It certainly does. And if I'm not mistaken, we just stumbled onto the most brutal frame-up I ever heard of. Red, the doctor said sometimes a shock or something familiar might bring a person out of amnesia. I've got an idea that might snap that boy out of this. Here's what I want you to do. 15 minutes later, Red was headed back to my office, all dressed up in the uniform he had worn when he had served in the 7th Cavalry. It was moth-eaten and about 40 pounds too tight, but he wore it as proudly as he had when he'd ridden orderly to Major Reno many years ago.
It looks pretty good outside. It's a little tight.
Let's just say it's snug. Now, you know exactly what you're to do, huh?
Sure.
Let's try it.
Trooper? Whoever taught you to blow that bugle ought to be court-martialed.
Well, I'm a bit out of practice, sir.
Report to the quartermaster and get a uniform that fits. I won't have a man dressed that way in my outfit.
Lieutenant Melton.
Yes, sir?
Hey, Hoppy, it worked.
Sure did.
Someone please tell me what I'm doing out of uniform and in a civilian guardhouse.
Gladly. But it's going to take a lot of telling. Red, get the keys. I don't know. There's a lot of things about this thing that I can't quite understand. And when I had finished telling young Melton the whole story...
Of all the low, thieving, murderous scoundrels.
Yeah, they're even worse than that.
Now you're going to have to answer a few questions for me.
Well, there's so very little I can say, Hoppy. All I can remember is that we were riding along and then suddenly something hit my head and knocked me out.
Do you remember how many people were on that stage when you left Las Cruces?
Yes, there was my Uncle Gene and Mr. Morris. Oh, and there was a stranger who introduced himself by the name of Brenner. Kind of a likable fellow.
Can you describe Brenner?
He's about my size. Pretty much my same coloring, and I'd say within a year or two of my age.
What clothes did he have on?
He had on a gray check shirt and striped trousers, and this is the very same outfit he was wearing.
That's just what I thought. Now let's see if this doesn't all add up. Morse had Brenner waiting for him in Las Cruces. When you got to 2 Mile Pass, one of them hit you over the head with the butt end of a gun. The other one shot your uncle. Then they killed the stage driver. They carried you off into that wash. Brenner changed clothes with you, shot you, and left you there for dead. Making it pretty simple for them to split up the estate, huh?
Well, I can't wait to get my hands on them skunks.
You'll have a chance before long. I'm going to arrest the two of them on a charge of double murder.
Well, come on, let's go.
There's no rush, Red. Their train doesn't leave the junction till 6 o'clock. We can cut across country and be there in plenty of time.
Well, Marshal, I think I have a right to be in on this with you.
You certainly have. Pick yourself out a gun and I'll get you a horse.
Can you ride?
Only Red would ask that question of a cavalry officer. We angled cross-country and had just come through the pass a couple of miles from the station. Wait a minute. There's Morse and Brenner now.
Hey, that's Cassidy and Red.
Yeah, and that's Melton riding with him. Something's gone wrong. We better get out of here.
You two get around back of them. I'll cut them off up here.
All right.
They saw we were in a position to cut them off from the station, so they backtracked towards the ranch house.
Pistols with our rifles, Hoppy.
We'll wait for a chance, then rush them.
Trying to get our horses so we can't follow.
I gotta take a chance of getting that carbine.
There's no sense in us both risking our necks.
Wait a minute. Come on. Kid's gun's jammed, Hoppy.
Start saying your prayers, Milton.
Got enough, Morse?
I'm through.
All right, come on. On the way back to town, I got a full confession from Morse. He had made some bad investments and was desperate for money. On learning that Lieutenant Melton was due to arrive in a couple of weeks, he had cooked up the whole frame-up for murder with Brenner in Las Cruces. And it had almost worked.
I tried to warn General Custer that doing it his way he'd fall into a trap. He wouldn't listen to me, and you know what happened?
He and his whole command were massacred at Little Bighorn.
How'd you know?
I just got the word.
Well, I just got an answer to my telegram to my lawyer friend over at the county seat. He'll be here in a few days to settle up your estate.
Well, I don't mind waiting, Hoppy. You know, I think I'm going to enjoy my leave with you and Red.
That'll give me time to learn him a few things about the cavalry.
Yeah, like you have never learned them before. Hi there, little friends. This is just a thought about guns. I was doing a scene one time in one of the pictures, and the boy that was working with me was twirling his gun on his hand and playing with it. I said, "What are you doing with that gun, Lucky?" He said, "I was just playing with it." I said, "Those things are not to play with. They kill people. So watch your guns, children. Be careful with them, won't you?"
There he goes on his way down the moonlit trail to where cowboys raid. Hopalong Cassidy, Hopalong Cassidy, he'll return soon again. There's no use to say goodbye until then. Hopalong Cassidy.